And that's the part of collecting that really sucks, is being the buyer. Because now that I'm collecting NES Complete in Box, now I've got to go find all these expensive NES titles, and of course all these people think they have gold. So now that I got stadium events out of the way, now I'm trying to find the other big titles like Samson and Flintstones. And they're on eBay. But the Little Samson on eBay is $5,000 complete in box. Which, if you look at price charting, it shows all the ones that have sold, and none of them have sold for $5,000. So why am I trying to buy your rental box with faded sticker markings on them for $5,000? I'll find Samson, I'll find Flintstones, I'll find the sellers that have a little bit of common sense in their head. So it's been over a month since I made a video. If you remember the last episode, I told you I had a bunch of expenses coming up, and one of them was moving out of our house. So in the process of making my last video, I was also tearing down my game room. And we started getting everything ready for the movers to come to put everything in storage. And at the time, all we were worried about is trying to make a couple repairs and cleaning the house, because the movers were going to pack everything up, move it onto the truck, and move it to storage themselves. And we were just trying to get everything ready for our final out inspection to reduce how much we owed moving out of that house. But a couple days before the movers came, I found out that there was a fat payday if we just moved everything ourselves. So I immediately jumped on it because I gotta pay for Flintstone Surprise Dinosaur Peak somehow, right? And it turned out to be one of the best decisions I could have done, because we're only authorized to move 11,000 pounds, and anything over that we would get charged for. And we probably had close to 15,000 pounds of stuff. So not only would we have had to pay a lot of money, but we also made money just doing it ourselves. But it was a lot of work, which is why I haven't made a video in over a month. But now it's finally finished. I moved my family across the country, put our stuff in storage, and I'm just finishing out my time in the Air Force at this place. The only problem right now is I don't have a game room at all, but it's a huge relief to be out of the house. And in the end, all we got charged for was 4 sets of blinds, and we had somebody clean the house because we didn't have time to finish cleaning it up with moving ourselves. So now when I actually retire, all I gotta do is roll out of here. I don't have to go through all this mess. It's done and over with, and I can just chill. And even though I don't currently have a game room, I still have my games. So today we have 4 more games that we'll be adding to the collection, but only 3 titles. Let's check them out. And the first game up is Super Mario Bros. 3. And I actually have 2 of them that I got from the same place. You can see on this copy, the Bros is here, but on this copy, the Bros is over here. So it's actually a variant. This is called the Left Bros variant, and it's a lot more uncommon than the other one. So this here is a first print, and later on they moved the Bros over because it was covering his hand. And typically the Left Bros variant is a lot more expensive than the Right Bros. And you won't believe it, but I got both of these copies for only $15 each. This one still has the price on it because it was on the cellophane, which is the original cellophane of the game, so I just left it on there. So both of these together ended up being cheaper than what just a normal one would have cost you in the first place. Published by Nintendo and releasing in the US in 1990, Super Mario Bros. 3 is what I consider to be my favorite game of all time. I usually play and beat Super Mario Bros. 3 at least once a year. I've played this game so much and got so used to the controls that I can only play it on the original hardware. I tried playing it on the NES Classic, and there was an extremely slight delay that threw off my entire game. It probably wouldn't affect anyone playing it for the first time, but it's extremely noticeable to anyone that's played the game for years. There's a myriad of secrets in the game, and I can't remember where I learned them all. But even as much as I've played, I still find new things in the game every now and then. Super Mario Bros. 3 is a masterpiece. And Super Mario Bros. 3 is game number 9 for the collection. And the next game up is Supercars. Published by Electrobrain, Supercars sped onto the NES in 1991. The racing is set up like a lot of other racing games on the system. It's a top-down view. As cool as the cars look at the beginning, they look pretty plain while racing, and they all look the same. There are 9 different tracks to beat and different difficulty levels as you beat the 9 races. You earn different amounts of cash that can be used to upgrade your car depending on what place you finish. You can even buy a front and rear shooting missile, but only one per race. Overall, it's a pretty mediocre racing game, but the music is pretty catchy. Supercars is a tough game to find and a good one to knock out so early in the quest. Supercars is game number 10 for the NES Complete Box Quest. And last but not least is Little Samson. Little Samson was published by Taito, releasing for the NES in 1992. Taito, the Prince of Darkness, has escaped his supernatural prison. Red lightning destroyed the magic seal that kept him at bay. He starts destroying the land as revenge for his captivity. So Emperor Hans calls on the 4 owners of the majestic bells of power to get rid of Taito and restore the land to peace. The first 4 levels of Little Samson are a tutorial that teach you how to use each of the characters, which are Little Samson, the boy adventurer, Kaikira, the dragon lord, Gam, the rock lord, and KO, the enchanted beast. After the first 4 stages, the actual game starts. As you make your way through the levels, you can switch between the 4 characters. Each of them have their own abilities and power. Little Samson can grab and climb walls and also move across ceilings. He throws magic bells as a weapon. Kaikira can fly temporarily and can charge up her attack. Gam can walk across spikes, and he can also take a ton of damage. He can also deal a lot of damage by extending his fists in multiple directions. KO has the same climbing abilities as Little Samson, but he can fit in tight spaces, and his weapon is a powerful delayed fuse bomb. The music changes based on what characters you're using until the final levels in the game. The levels are fairly short with a boss at the end of most of them. The bosses aren't too difficult once you figure out which character works best to fight them. Each of the characters have different health. If you die in a level, you start back at the beginning of the level, or the beginning of the boss fight if you made it to the final boss. However, whatever character you were playing with is eliminated when you die, unless you were playing with Little Samson. So if you know you can't beat a boss, it's best to switch to Little Samson so you don't lose your characters. If you run out of lives completely, you get a game over, but the game has unlimited continues. The game has 2 play modes, easy and normal. On easy mode, you can build the health of each player higher. The game also ends after this boss. If you're playing on normal mode, all of your characters have less health, and the game has a few extra levels with a couple of bosses that you already fought at the end of each. Then you face the true final boss. Once you beat him, you see the true ending of the game. Little Samson is one of my top 5 favorite NES games. It released late in the NES's life, and it's an epic game, which makes it one of the top 3 most expensive licensed games on the system. If you're a fan of platform games, Little Samson is a must play. If you're looking for a cheaper, authentic version of the game, it also released on the Famicom in Japan, and the game is called Lickle. And Little Samson is game number 11 for the collection. And I got it for a really great deal, just under $4,500, and it's in pristine condition. So being patient for this game really paid off. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more videos like this. Until next time, I'm Gamer Wayne, and thanks for watching.